Pranam. So today we are taking this topic of moving towards the self. So in case you have any questions or anything, you can ask because this is a clarity session only anyway. But I somehow felt we can take this little deeper topic also, even for those who are new. I will not discuss many uh, deep details, but I will very slowly try to talk about how are we moving towards the self. First of all, let me ask you that question. The title is moving. What was that? Moving towards the self. How many of you agree with this? How many of you object? If anybody says no or they want to point their views, you can always raise your hand. These are interactive sessions, anyways. Not a problem. Okay, you agree. Moving towards the self. Very common terminology that we get or closer to the self or deeper towards the self. She says, totally agree. Okay. Anybody disagrees with this? Anita disagrees. Amit is in between. Can't understand. Bipin agrees. I'll go very slow in the session. I'm not trying to put in more details. Dipti says, can we move towards the self? We are the self. Jita says, agree. That's all. Subjectively disagree. Yes, for me, self is awareness. I can afford to lose it. I can afford to lose it, or I can't afford to lose it. Okay. Smita says, I agree. Moving towards the self. See, both one of you here said, which is what I wanted to hear in some way. Yeah, Anjali also says we are the self, but losing more of our ego. Okay. See, if you are the self, then there is no question of ego. We'll come little close to that. Somebody said here, okay, there are two Anita. I don't know who is this. Subjectively disagree. Who said subjectively disagree? Two Anita. So I don't know who. Can you just raise hand? We'll come to know who's it. Huh? Both are not raising hands. Who said subjectively disagree? Okay, fine. So Anita Goyal, she said. Well, that's a little more closer to what I want to actually convey today. This statement itself, moving towards the self, this is the deeper path. Okay, we are going more deeper into the path. So we are very cautious with every thought, every word, because whatever we think, it constructs our whole system. Whatever we believe, that becomes the path. So here, as you the wisdom opens up, ज्ञान जैसे ही आपका खुलता है, तो इस ज्ञान मार्ग में बहुत डिटेल से आप हर एक चीज को परखते हो. यू लुक एट एवरीथिंग वेरी वेरी क्लियरली, including the words that we use. As you go deeper, I would say you cannot become careless. We should not also, because as I said, everything is your energy, everything becomes your concept, your belief. So awareness also means being aware all the time. I'm not saying this statement is right or wrong. It is right only. It is right from one point, it is wrong from one point. But both are existing. Okay. मंथन हो रहा है भैया. किसका हो रहा है मंथन? Yeah, that's what. See, we have audience here which are in two divided phases. Okay, दो टुकड़े में बटा हुआ है. It all depends on where we are. From which point are we looking at every statement? We should always be aware. Where am I right now looking at it? So somebody said subjectively disagree. Yes. That means somebody is aware कि subjectively it doesn't work. Subjectively और objectively ये दो चीज है. Subjective और objective. I don't know हिंदी में इसको क्या कहते हैं. Subjective, objective. If anybody wants to share, can share. Subjective or objective. Subjective is my personal experience. Like for example, when I say your presence, you're feeling your presence. We did it in the sessions. Who's the one who is looking through the eyes? Okay. Who's the one who's hearing through the ears? There is a presence inside. That presence is palpable. ये आपको feel होता है. मेरा होना, ये अनुभूति जो है, मुझे महसूस होता है पूरे शरीर में. मैं पैरों में भी हूँ, सर में भी हूँ, हाथों में भी हूँ. सब कहीं भी देखो, मुझे अपना प्रेजेंस फील होता है पूरे शरीर में. वो प्रेजेंस जो मैं हूँ, दैट प्रेजेंस विच आई एम, विच आई फील, आई एग्जिस्ट, मैं हूँ, आई एम, दैट इज कॉल्ड सब्जेक्टिव एक्सपीरियंस. Objective is when you project at something, when you connect to something else other than this, and what you feel from that connection is called objective connection. If for example I feel my palms, मैं अपना हथेली महसूस करता हूँ, कि महसूस जो हो रहा है मैं सब्जेक्टिव. लेकिन मैं आपकी हथेली अगर महसूस करूं, इफ आई बिकम अवेयर ऑफ योर palms, that is my objective experience. I am thrusting on something else. And you see, even if you objectively connect to something, you will always have a subjective experience. एक एग्जांपल ये है कि right now I'm feeling cold, so I've wrapped up this, तो मुझे ठंड लग रही है. This is my subjective experience. But then I sit and I think about summers, April, May. Let's say in Tiruvannamalai, very hot. Kanjangad, very hot. Ganeshpuri, very hot. Hot places. I think about this place. It's very hot. And I think of that example where one day I came fully sweat, fully wet. इतना पसीना कि असहनीय. You could feel the heat coming out of your body. And I remember those days. Now that heat, what I am feeling, who's experiencing? I am only subjectively experiencing it right now, though I am objectively connected to that. Right now, the atmosphere is cold, but just thinking of it can bring me the warmth of it. Same way, right now, let's say I'm happy, and then I think about someone who hurt me. And when I think about that someone, I've objectively connected to something, but experience is happening subjectively. The pain that I feel, किसी ने मुझे कुछ कहा, मुझे दुख हुआ, वो पीड़ा हुई, वो पीड़ा कहाँ होता है? पीड़ा पास्ट में भी नहीं, राइट नाउ आई एम एक्सपीरियंसिंग. तो एक्सपीरियंस जो होता है, दैट सब्जेक्टिव एक्सपीरियंस, दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ सब्जेक्टिव एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव. सो एनीथिंग इन योर experience, personal experience in the now, in your presence, is subjective. Anything that you connect to, whether past, present, future, whatever you connect outside, is known as objective. So we use these two words, subjective, objective, बहुत common है यहाँ पे. We use this word subjective यानी कि मेरा अस्तित्व, अवेयरनेस, कॉन्शियसनेस, चेतना, चैतन्य, ये सब्जेक्टिव है. चैतन्य जिस पे गिरता है, wherever the awareness falls or consciousness falls, वो ऑब्जेक्टिविटी आ जाती है. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई क्लोज माई आईज, आई एम एक्सपीरियंसिंग माई प्रेजेंस. आई ओपन माई आईज, वॉट एवर आई सी, आई हैव ऑब्जेक्टिव एक्सपीरियंस. निज, पता नहीं, तो मुझे पता नहीं हिंदी में कैसा है, बट आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू put this in simple practical terms. स्वयं की अनुभूति अगर आप करें तो सब्जेक्टिव हो गया। कुछ भी बाह्यमुखी होके आप करें, उसको अनुभव करें, विमर्श करें, एक्सपीरियंस करें, वो ऑब्जेक्टिव एक्सपीरियंस हो गया। जैसे मैं आँख बंद करूँ, तो कुछ नहीं दिख रहा है, तो अपने आप को ही महसूस कर रहा हूँ मैं, मेरा होना ही महसूस कर रहा हूँ। आँख खोल दिया, मुझे जो भी दिखा, अब मैं ऑब्जेक्टिवली कनेक्ट हो गया। ये मेरा सब ऑब्जेक्टिव एक्सपीरियंस है। तो मैं जब आँख बंद करता हूँ और अपने आप को महसूस करता हूँ, वो मेरा सब्जेक्टिव एक्सपीरियंस हो गया। So anything within you turn inward and contemplate upon, that is the subjective. So that is why the subjective is called as the Atman. शिव जो है सब्जेक्टिव है, शक्ति जो है ऑब्जेक्टिव है, क्योंकि शक्ति बाह्यमुखी निकलती है, वो स्थित नहीं रहती है। शक्ति संचालित होती है। शी मूव्स, एनर्जी मूव्स, वाइब्रेशन मूव्स आउट। इट्स ऑलवेज आउटवर्ड, इट्स इन द क्रिएशन। But there is one thing that doesn't move, that is the subjective, that always remains in that presence, Shiva. So Atman, Paramatman, God, self, whatever you call soul, all these are known as subjective. And where this soul consciousness falls upon or connects to others is known as objective. That is why they say when this prakash is there in itself, it's a subjective experience. But when this light expands outside, everything comes alive. Like in the morning, early morning, you are sleeping in deep sleep. सब्जेक्टिव एक्सपीरियंस हो रहा है आपका। आंख खोल दिया, आ गया थॉट्स, आ गया बाहर, आ गया। तो आपकी सब्जेक्टिवनेस उस ऑब्जेक्टिविटी को महसूस कर रही है, यानी कि आपकी जो चैतन्य अवेयरनेस है, वो अवेयरनेस अब सोच को देख रही है, मन में जो विचार है उसको देख रही है। तो वो देखने वाला जो है वो सब्जेक्टिव है, महसूस करने वाला। लेकिन जिस चीज को आप महसूस कर रहे हो वो ऑब्जेक्टिव, मतलब विचार ऑब्जेक्टिव हो गया। लेकिन सजगता है या फिर awareness, what is there, the awareness that looks at the thought, that is subjective. That which has been seen or felt or experienced, like the thought is being experienced, that becomes objective. Okay, very simple terms these are. So subjective objective ही चलता है. As you come deeper into this path, it's all about this. So दो नजरिया है. There are only two ways approach of life. One is looking at everything subjectively, and one is everything looking at objectively. By habit, by default, we are all objective creatures. We have trained ourselves, we have been trained, even all our spirituality, आपका जितना भी अध्यात्म है सब ऑब्जेक्टिव नेचर ही है, कुछ सब्जेक्टिव नहीं है उसके अंदर। सारा ऑब्जेक्टिव मीन्स व्हाट इज ऑब्जेक्टिव, दैट विच कम्स आउट, व्हाट कम्स आउट, ईगो, शक्ति, इट कम्स आउट। तो शक्ति जो भी क्रिएट करती है वो सब ऑब्जेक्टिव एक्सपीरियंस है। वट एवर द शक्ति इज क्रिएटिंग इज ऑब्जेक्टिव। सो my Shakti or my ego comes out, and my ego is creating this whole world. It is creating what you call world of its own. I create my own titles, I create my relationships, I create my connections with all these things, I create my attachments, I create my bonds. All I am only creating, I the ego. So I is a very objective stuff. ये सब्जेक्टिव से बहुत दूर है ये आई यानी अहम, अहंकार, फॉल्स आई। सो अपने आप को कुछ समझना। आर वी राइट नाउ ऑल इन सब्जेक्टिव और ऑब्जेक्टिव एक्सपीरियंस, बताओ। व्हेन यू सेल्फ रियलाइज, यू कम इनटू द सब्जेक्टिव नेचर कि मैं शिव हूं, शिवोहम। जब तक सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन नहीं है, ऑब्जेक्टिव ही नेचर है, मैं शिव नहीं हूं, मैं कुछ और। वट एवर दैट इज, इट माइट बी इवन महात्मा, आई एम अ ऋषि, नॉट सब्जेक्टिव, इट्स ऑब्जेक्टिव ओनली। आई एम अ सीकर, आई एम अ मेडिटेटर, आई एम अ योगी, objective. That is why I'm telling you, all the paths are always objective. So objective say they are trying to reach the subjective. Ego is trying to reach God. Shakti is trying to reach Shiva. Objective is trying to reach subjective. इतना ही है. तो ये two phases है. It depends on where your awareness is. It might be fluctuating here and there. Sometimes it might be subjective. Like when somebody is in deep awareness, they are in the subjective nature. When they are not aware, completely objective. Or sometimes they might be fluctuating in and out. Thoda objective, thoda subjective, and all those things. That is what we are doing, practices. So whenever we are doing practices, we are slowly moving towards subjective nature. Whenever you are, let's say, 100% aware, you are subjectively experiencing yourself, the world, as a drishta. And if you are not aware, you are 100% outside. You are some personality. That is our problem. Most or almost all of us are in objective nature. Rarely we connect to the subjective nature. तो this यात्रा, ये जो यात्रा है अब, ये थोड़ा गहरा है. आपको ऑब्जेक्टिविटी से सब्जेक्टिविटी की तरफ आना है. क्योंकि आत्मन, सेल्फ जो है, that is subjective. You have to move from that objectivity. So how to move? You have to keep shifting into awareness. Whenever you shift into awareness, you are subjective nature. You might not be 100%, but whatever that percent is, slowly you must keep on increasing. That is where the whole thing lies. That is why I am telling practice this awareness so much, because slowly what it will make you, it will make you very subjective. Objectivity चला जाता है. हमेशा यहाँ से भगवान को कहीं और देखो. That will fade out. Abhi bhi, if I tell you where is your guru, where is your Bhagwan, you will think about, you will point and show some photo, or you'll think some image, or you'll create something. Even if I ask right now also, you can never say I am only that Bhagwan. Even if you say you're objectively saying it. बस कोई philosophy आपको पता है, इसके लिए आप objectively कह रहे हो, experientially पता नहीं, अभी experience नहीं हुआ है उस चीज का. No problem. Intellectually तो जानो इस चीज को. At least intellectually hold this in your mind, in your substance, that इतना तो सजग रहो, at least be so much aware कि when you say something also, you know that, okay, objectively I'm saying this. So moving towards the self doesn't move. Self is already established. Self doesn't move, self is established. What moves is the ego. Ego is trying to come and connect with the self. So I am the ego. So from which point are you? That depends on the statement. Moving towards the self. Is this correct? Was the question. If you're in the ego part, it is correct. But if you're in the subjective, it is not correct. That is what she pointed out. Very brilliant. Subjectively incorrect. It depends from which point you are looking at things. Whether you have experience or no, not important. But you must be aware. Right now, I'm talking from objective nature. वो पता होना चाहिए, वो बहुत होना चाहिए. So that is very powerful. It's a very, very powerful practice where all the time, whatever you say, whatever you do, it's all fine. But coming, see, I put that post and I was thinking, let's talk, because बहुत दिन हो गए we are talking on many gross things. मैं बोला चलो one session we can do a little calm, settled and deeper. And I just put this topic that came to my mind. Okay, let's talk something about moving towards the self. And then when I came and sat here 5 minutes before, I was thinking, who's going to move towards the self? So I said, let's ask. And I just opened one book here, some books, and exactly similar kind of stuff only is here. So I was reading it. I'll read it to you. Ramana's teachings only. This is from the verse 19 of Ulludanarpadu. 40 verses of reality, it is called. One of the most deep texts of Bhagavan Ramana. In Tamil, it is known as Ulludanarpadu. Meaning is 40 verses. So there are 40 verses which he has written. From that, the 19th verse, my eyes, when I open this thing, 19th verse opened up, and that's exactly what we are discussing right now. Okay. So I'll just read through this. Somebody has written a commentary also about it. Good. So this verse 19 talks about free will and destiny and divine will. Now, can you tell me just casually, divine will is the God's will, free will is my will, ego's. Now it's very easy for you to identify which is subjective and which is objective. Free will, divine will. Which is subjective nature, which is objective nature. Somebody put in Hindi. वस्तु परक, वस्तुनिष्ठ, मेरे ख्याल से ऑब्जेक्टिव बड़ी अच्छा है. Divine will is subjective or objective? Great, great. इतना समझ आया तो काफी. Divine will is subjective, not free will. Free will means my will. I, the ego. I'm not God yet. I'm separate from that God. So I am basically I am the objective side. मैं बाहर निकला तो मैं objective side. Ego is always objective. Subjective is Paramatman, that state of consciousness which has nothing to do. It is always absorbed and Satchidananda, absorbed in that bliss, in its own bliss. Objective is not. So I am always in the objective. We are all always in the objective. When you sleep, you become subjective. When you are in samadhi, you become subjective. You have gone to nothingness, blank. That is why where you are experiencing the blankness. So in divine will means the the cosmic intelligence, which is a knowing, it knows everything. See, the whole blueprint is there in that nothingness. In that blankness, पूरा सृष्टि जो बना है उसके अंदर वो है. When pralaya hota hai, when everything goes back into that nothingness, can you say it is nothing? It has everything there. Think about it. Mahakali भक्षण करती है. Mahakali is not that ferocious thing that you have stuck in your mind. Mahakali is the darkness, nothingness का darkness, जो सब भक्षण करती है प्रलय के समय. It devours everything into that nothingness. And everything goes into nothing, blank. But can you say it is really nothing? It is something. It has something there. Like this room is there. There are so many things. Even I am sitting here. You put off the light, blank, black, dark. So does that mean everything has gone? No, I am sitting here only, but you can't see me. That's all. So that nature of complete blankness, which is there, that we are referring to as subjective. But whenever light appears and something comes, because the light comes, now I on the light, you can see me. I appear from the darkness. Objectivity aa gayi. Light band karo, there is no objectivity, only subjectivity, blank. On something, you can see something. The moment you see, do hoye na. See, if I sit here with the lights closed, off, I can't see anything. I'm in darkness. So what will I experience? मैं हूँ. I am here. उतना ही मुझे अनुभव है. That's my only experience. But ये है, वो है, No experience because lightning है. So I can't. On the light, suddenly TV है, chair है, fridge है, वो है, floor है, कुत्ता बिल्ली है. Everything comes. Objectivity. Objectivity comes when I wake up from that. You know. So when my ego comes out, objectivity आ गई. तब तक there is only subjectivity. So when it is in the subjective nature, it is called divine will. The moment separation हो गया, मैं आ गया, फिर मेरी मर्जी एक आ गई. अगर मैं विलीन हो गया, मेरी मैं कहाँ? मैं विलीन हो गया, तो उसकी और मेरी मर्जी एक हो गई. There is no two only there. But the moment I separate, I wake up, I become Jake, then Jake की एक मर्जी है और उसकी एक मर्जी है. See, that is where this whole game of karma begins. Destiny, free will. तो आर्ग्यूमेंट बहुत चलता है. फ्री विल करेक्ट है या डेस्टिनी है? सब डेस्टिनी के हिसाब से होता है या मेरी मर्जी से? This goes on debates. You can debate from both ends. And I have talked many times about these topics. I might say I have free will, but I am still under the control of divine will. मैं अपनी मर्जी से अभी ये सेशन कर सकता हूँ, अभी बंद कर सकता हूँ, अभी उठ के जा सकता हूँ, चाय पी सकता हूँ, बाहर जा सकता हूँ. I can do anything. I can get up and go. You can get up and go. You can off and log out. Your free will, my free will. We all have free will, right? But it is a limited free will. You can't do anything and everything. Many things in life happen as though something is programmed. Like, for example, you are breathing. Do you have free will on that? All the functions of your body, you don't have free will. Think about it. It's running as by divine will only. Now, in the night, I'm going to cook something and eat. I'll say, Meri marji, I cooked it. But you are not conscious of how all those ingredients came to you, out of which you cooked. You might say, I went and brought it from the shop. But you might still not understand what made you buy that thing only. You might say it is I like it. But you still don't understand where did that like come from? Where did that attraction toward that thing come from? It is never ending if you go to see. If you actually focus, you will come to know nothing is of my will. Even I might say it is my will, I might go and cook there. But I cook in the kitchen, I have limitations, isn't it? It's night 9:30 now. I go to the kitchen and I want to cook something. It is very obvious that I can cook only that which is there, isn't it? If some item is not there, can I cook something out of it? So, can you say I can cook anything in my kitchen? Think about it. Think about it. You're going to the kitchen, you still have limitations. You might say, I'll cook this. You might say, I'll make puri or I'll make paratha or I'll make chapati. But that is because you have atta, wheat. That wheat is divine. What you make out of it is your free will. But still, it is because of the wheat that you could make that. So that way, if you very deeply go into it, there is no end to this discussion. So this verse number 19 just blows this thing out. Ramana says there is no point keeping discussing on this. Anda pehle aaya hai murgi. Did the seed first come or the tree? Endless discussions. You can sit whole night, whole lifetime talking about it, debating on it. Ramana says, what is the use? Now, one beautiful thing that he pointed out in this verse is, let me read this verse. Only those who are devoid of knowledge of the root of destiny and free will alone entertain the debate whether free will prevails or fate prevails. Those who have awakened to the self, which is a common source of fate and free will, are those who have completely transcended both fate and free will. Will they again get caught in the misery of those two and be affected by them? Do think and tell. ये जो verses है, they're very, very deep, okay? Actually, this is what we take in deeper retreats, and we contemplate on things like this. We don't think sit now talking about those gods and goddesses and things like that, because your goddesses all coming from subjective nature. You are close to these things. So वो discussions खत्म होता है. Now it is very deep. It is all self-investigation, because it's all self-realization tattva. Atma Bodha, Brahma Gyan. This is all. Okay. So here this is a small verse, which is the English translation, which I said. He says, only those who are devoid of the knowledge of the root of the destiny. He's telling, if you find out the root from where destiny or free will comes, the whole argument will stop. It is only because you don't go to the root, you are still in the branches of these two things. You're discussing about these two things. Where do these both come from? Like I said, chapati or paratha, they come from the wheat. If you go to the wheat, the whole question is solved. There is no question of debate only. Somebody has interest in puri and somebody has interest in chapati. Their interest it is basically, but it's made out of wheat only. So he says they will not, once they go into the source, they will not entertain any kind of debate about free will or destiny. Those who have awakened to the self, those who have now opened up to the self, subjective nature, which is a common source from where the free will and destiny are coming, same root, are the ones who have transcended it. This whole talk about it. Can they be caught again about it, about the same misery? And so it is like what I said. Did the hen come first or the egg come first? Did the tree come first or the fruit come first, or the seed come first, or the fruit come first, or the tree come first? So it can go on. But what Ramana is pointing to this point is, where is the tree and where is the hen? If the hen lays egg, where is the hen walking? On earth. Where does it lay the egg? On earth. और कहीं जा सकता है क्या? उड़ के जाएगा क्या हवा में? No. It will be on the earth. So he says, if both are put into earth, both will disappear into earth, because they both came from earth. पंच महाभूत से आए. So he's talking about the earth here. He says people seekers who are concentrating or focusing on the self are interested in the earth, not the egg or the hen. That earth is subjective nature. You become objective, you will be interested in the hen and the egg. You go to the source, you don't care. That's the whole thing about very deep. When am I interested in this world? When I am not in awareness. Whenever I'm in deep awareness or samadhi, do you even think of anything? You can't think because you don't have an identity there. You might be an employee, you might be a student, you might be so many things. You might be somebody in the relationship. But when you're sitting in deep awareness, when you're lost out to the world, you're simply blank. Can you think about your office or your colleague or your friend or your relative? You can't. That is what he's trying to tell here. When you are in the earth, you cannot think about the egg. You cannot think about the hen. There is no question of free will or divine will. Now, it doesn't stop here. The root of this verse is to reveal to you that if you come to the subjective natures, these will not affect you. Neither karma affects you, free will affects you, nor destiny affects you. Or you can say neither Sanchita affects you nor Prarabdha affects you. No, Agami affects you. Karma doesn't affect you. Karma is affected only when you become objective. You run behind the hen and the egg. That hen and the egg only is your Prarabdha and Sanchita and so on. Discussions. You are interested in the tree, you are interested in the fruit, and then you get into debates about who came first, who came. Then it's about proving. Somebody will say fruit came first, somebody will say endless discussion. That is what he's trying to say. You come out of the self into from awareness, come into objectivity. There are thousands and millions of things to get involved in, lost into useless talks and debates and interests. But if you go back and remain in that center, even though the world is moving, even though these things are there, even though the tree and fruit is there, you'll not get affected by it. And that is the state where Ramana used to say, nothing affected him. His body didn't affect him, his mind didn't affect him. Anything happening to his body or mind didn't affect him. Activities around his body did not affect him. What people did, what people did not do, did not affect him. No world news affected him. Why? Because he's in the root. Become objective, you'll get interested and lost in these things. That is the depth of this verse that he's trying to talk about. So it's not about the fruit or the tree, because the tree comes from the earth and the fruit also comes from the earth. If the fruit falls down into the earth, it can get lost into the earth. And so also the tree can get lost into the earth. When the tree falls down, slowly it rots and becomes the earth. Or if the fruit falls down, a seed erupts and another tree comes out. See, trees are coming, fruits are falling, all these things are happening. But the soil, that's what he's trying to say. Be interested in the soil, the source. That is what he's calling the source from where the tree or the whatever is coming. So that's what he's trying to say here. The nothingness, the Atman, the Paramatman, the Parashiva or Parabhairava, what we are talking about. From there, if you are interested in there, you're not interested in what comes and goes. Why we get caught up is because of our objective nature. We remain too much objective, means we remain unaware. Now, objective doesn't mean you are always in samadhi. You should not come out of subjectiveness. No, no, no. That's not what it means. Whatever you do, even in this world, because he was always doing so many things there, but he was always in self-absorption. He was aware of the source. So when he's aware of the source, even though his body or life is moving around, he has no interest in connecting to any such stuff. And thus he remains in his own self, or in his own silence, or his own peace. This debate whether fate prevails over free will, matlab, does destiny go over free will or does free will go over destiny, this debate is only meant for those who are ignorant ones, who do not know the source of both. So we can keep on debating and thinking and worrying about all these things. So it is meant only for those ignorant ones. But those who are wise, they return to the source. They remain connected to the source. Those who have known the source of ego, which is the Atman, have transcended both destiny and free will. To such a being, destiny cannot touch, free will cannot touch, fate cannot touch. So you say it's basically, will they ever slip back again? Once somebody comes there and realizes that and get established in that source, can they ever slip back into the misery born out of the ridiculous puzzle thereafter? Do think clearly and tell. So Ramana is actually asking, challenging to put a thought. Ramana is very deep, okay? उनके लंगोट पे मत जाओ, उनके बॉडी पे मत जाओ. Don't go by his body, don't go by his looks. He is something. If you simply even sit in a Ramanasana attentively, in deep awareness, some mysterious power will just burn out your ignorance. That capacity is there in that place. That's Ramana Tattva. But for that, one has to be very sensitive. One has to be very right. One must have deep interest in that. Then one can certainly attain a lot. You can see these deep thought topics, what we are talking, everything settles down here. See, we have taken just one line and we are sitting on it. That's true satsang. The rest of the satsang is noise. We make noise so that we can enter into silence. All that noise is for silence. Because without that noise, you'll not understand these things. So you'll have to go through all these basic courses and things like all that noise. Later, as you go inside, all this doing, this effort and all needed. But eventually, you become effortless. You come into the being. So all the effort is to make you effortless. But that effort has to be in the right direction. Effort doesn't mean करते जाओ, करते जाओ, करते जाओ, करते जाओ. अंत नहीं है. One more example he has given here further. Uselessly we keep on doing so many things. ये साधना करो, वो साधना करो, this practice, वो practice. अर्थ नहीं है इसमें. After a certain point, it is all invalid and useless. But it cannot be understood when you're completely in the objective. If you're completely lost in the I ego, then it cannot be understood. It's very difficult. Then there will be only one craving. I want to go to the self and realize it. So I want to move closer to myself. It's very ignorant statement actually. But that's okay. We are learning. We are learning. We are understanding this tattva by grace that this is what our perception should be, which in last webinar I told, and last retreat also we installed very clearly. You are subjective of nature. You have left home, Paramdham. You have come here appearing as someone, and now you are being guided. You have been reminded you are not this, what you think you are. So now, when you start waking up and realizing, I am not this, the question comes then, who am I? Once you're told, even intellectually, you are that I am that I am, you are not this, then you know, okay, subjectively, I am this, Shivoham, I am Shiva, Aham Brahmasmi, but right now I am Jekasmi. Why? Because I have come out of that place and I have taken this identity, not the Brahman, but as Jek. So I realize now, oh, this is error. This is error. I have taken on another identity. I have put on a cloak. And what should I do now? Throw the cloak. Whatever I have covered myself with, throw it away. When I throw it away, I return back to my original state. That's all. That is what is meant as subjective nature. That is the whole tattva of Arunachala. Final Gyan Marg mein ye hota hai. Your perspective completely changes. Now no more objectivity. उधर बैठ के भगवान को खोजो. It's foolish. The start, okay. But as you are coming closer, you start understanding. I am Shiva only. Oh my God, what have क्या हाल बना रखा है? What have I done to myself? And why did I do this? If you truly ask, why did I do all this nonsense? Then you'll be very alert not to do any more injustice to yourself. अब you will not add more of ornaments to your life. You'll be alert. Because jada if I keep on adding more philosophy, more theory, more concepts, more of egoic stuff, more of titles, more of credibilities and individuality and personalities, I will get more lost. पहले ही suffocate हो रहा है. Now why should I add more? So a conscious seeker at this level now when awakens simply starts remembering and pulling backwards, moving backwards. It is not moving forward. I told in this retreat, second level retreat, what we are training ourselves. Now the journey is not forward, journey is backward. Because you left home, you came down the steps, and then you realize, why did I come here? So what do? You retrace your steps back. That's all. You put on cloaks, you throw it away. That's all. There is no point putting all these ornaments and crying and weeping. Oh, I'm feeling so heavy. I'm feeling suffocated. And then shouting, God, where are you? Where is God? God is under the cloak only. So there is no point. There is no point yelling and striving and searching for that God outside. Mriga Kasturi, this is the story of the musk deer. Fragrance is in me only, and the deer is hunting everywhere. That is what is meant by this cloak is that wheel, that one veil. You remove it. घूंघट के पट खोल तुम्हें तोहे पिया मिले पिले पिया मिलेंगे. Means you'll find your beloved. You will find the beloved. You who have taken this identity. Just remove the wheel and you'll see the beloved is me only. So that is the tattva of Arunachala. That is the final tattva. All your trainings are to come to this level only. Now your perspective must change completely. And these tattvas of Arunachala, all these texts and all these teachings of Bhagavan Ramana and all are from this angle. Nisardat Maharaj, all are this angle only now. Kabir and all. They're talking from this angle. They don't talk objectively anything. There is no hunt for God now. There is only unwinding now. Okay. So remember, you have come, you have remembered. That is what Shiva Sutra teaches. You have come, and at this point, by grace, you remember. Anugrah Shakti, you remember. Hey, I'm Shiva. Where have I come here? Hosh aa gaya. You were sleepwalking at night. Suddenly you woke up and found yourself on the street. Hey, why am I here? I was supposed to be at home. Yes, you walked in your sleep. You left your home in sleep, deep sleep. But now you're woken up, right? So when you wake up, what happens? Will you go further into the streets? You will want to go back home. Simple as that. You turn back also and run, no problem. But you still are aware that my home is not this and you are moving. The only thing is, when you become very objective, you think it is somewhere outside. And that is why in the whole city you start hunting. Where is my home? And there is no point of even asking, how did I come here? No point in sitting, talking, and debating about why the hell did I come here. Now, ask this guy who was sleepwalking and come into the road. Is anything going to happen if you sit down and say, first sit down, we'll discuss why you came, from where you came, how you came, and all that? Will it make any sense? To that person also, or to the discussion person also? No, he has to simply return back home. That's the whole thing. You understand that by error you walked out. Now you're awakened. Now I'm awakened. Ab jag gaya. लौटना बस simple सी चीज. So spirituality is very simple when you understand this much. In this, they have given one example of a person who's dreaming about going about walking on the hill and then falls down. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water, and then Jack fell down. This whole thing that way, climb the hill and they fall down, and that person is hurt. Now, who is hurt? When the person wakes up, he understands that there is no hill, there is no hurt, but the cry was real. Oh, I fell down. It's my leg is hurting. That is the people who are under the influence of prarabdha, destiny, who are according to the text saying ignorant ones. They are still ignorant. They have not woken up. They are crying my leg. They are crying the reason of their fall. Maybe it's a stone or accidental slip. So you can curse the slipperiness. You can curse the stones. You can curse your fate. You can keep crying and all that. And the other is one simply wakes up and understands there is no hill, there is no crying, there is no leg. That's exactly when we realize the subjective nature what happens. You don't have to talk even about self-realization. Just take every night only. How much ever you cry whole day, at night you're at peace only. Everything is gone. All your samsara is gone. Whatever big you talk about, whatever great plannings you do, this, that, even whatever disease the body has, whatever troubles the life is giving. Somebody might be having court cases and this and that, this worries, that worries. Children are not listening. Parents are not good. My wife is not good. My husband is a crook. All those things are there whole day. I'm full of tension. But when you lie on the bed, your husband is gone, your wife is gone, your kids are gone, your home is gone, everything is gone. Nothing exists there. That is subjective experience. And that is what happens in pralaya. Every night is a pralaya. It's not that we die once in one lifetime. You die every single day. Every night you die, every morning you birth again. Exactly if you take the sequence of life and death, this is what happens. Even when you actually quit the body, अंधकार छा गया बोलते ना एकदम night has come and everything has gone for a toss. The whole lifetime of drama of this and that and things like that. One death can do it. 1 second, a kshana, it can happen. Whole dream can just poof gone like this. Think about it. What we are talking is very practical. There's no point like, oh, I don't understand. What is not there to understand? So simple it is. Think about death. One shana, nobody knows when. It can happen now. What happens if it happens now? Imagine all the things that you took so seriously is gone poof in one this. That is called awakening. Now that death, you can call that as death or sleep. What happens? You go into sleep now. But you have all these vested interests now. Body is gone, and you had all these pending desires. Isko lena tha, usko dena tha, all these things, everything gone before you could plan out. Now that is what you call as free will. हंसी आता है free will में. I am the creator of my own destiny. The one who's sitting at night and creating his destiny is gone at night. So funny. You write in this book, that book early morning, and you write 20 of your manifestations. I am the creator of my own destiny. And next shana, you're gone. See the creator, gone. But what happens? Your creations don't go. Your vikalpas, they don't go because they are you take it in your manomaya koshaviti. They're all in your mind. Body is gone. The instrument to fulfill those dreams that is gone. Wahani chala gaya. But इच्छा ही नहीं गई. वो pending रह गई. So what happens at death? You go to sleep. Everything is gone for a toss. Poof. All your dream is gone. But slowly then you awake. Slowly again, like sleep only. See, this is all very mysterious and deep. Like how you go to sleep and like in the morning how you wake. Death is like that. When death happens, you are for some time in deep sleep. You go into complete deep sleep and then slowly you start waking up. Why do you wake? ये इच्छाएं ना pending दिन वाली. Why do you wake up every morning? Because there are desires. Why do you come out of samadhi? Half an hour samadhi, 1 hour samadhi, 45 minutes samadhi. Why do you come out of it? Because there are lot of objective things in my mind. The mind will not allow you to sit for long. So with temporary subjective experience, you are thrown out. Every morning you are thrown out. Same way, you won't sleep after death for long. You will be woken up again. You'll be forced to take another body. The ego will run towards outwardly because the chase is for that. Like in the morning, think about morning. Do you think about all these things? You wake up and what do you do? Unconsciously, I am Mr. XYZ. Gaya XYZ दौड़ते दुनिया के पीछे. What is the truth we are talking about? उस समय सोचता है क्या स्पिरिचुअलिटी? नहीं सोचता. सुबह उठा, मेरा पुत्र किधर है, मेरी पुत्री किधर है, मेरा कुत्ता किधर है, मेरा घर किधर है, मेरा ऑफिस किधर है, पैसा किधर है. यू स्टार्ट चेसिंग. होश नहीं है. Exactly the same way, death के समय, when death happens, when you go into deep slumber, when you wake up, all that you see is, I want this body, I want that body. इच्छाएं हैं, then you will not think. There is no practical spirituality there. It is just the rush. Like every morning you rush out of the bed unconsciously to go about living in the dream world, which you don't know when it will go off like this. एक क्षण में. It can go anytime like this. You see, it's very deep. These things are very, very deep. The night, the Jagrit, Sushupti, Swapna, and these states, what we are talking right now, very deep. So every night you're dying, every morning you're rebirthing, every night there is pralay, every morning there is Brahma Tattva, creation, and the whole day is Vishnu Tattva. And finally, the Rudra Tattva at night. Night pralay. Exactly pralay only happens when you lie down in the bed. सब समेटना शुरू हो जाता. जहां जहां इन्वेस्ट किया है ना, वहां से प्राण समेटना शुरू कर देता है. इन द टाइम ऑफ डेथ exactly the same happens. You have invested whatever you have invested, you're lying there, and death, the prana pulls back everything. Your attention, light which has gone there, it starts pulling. It becomes aware of the body finally, and then from the body it starts withdrawing prana from the feet, from your pelvic region, from your tummy. It starts coming up. So all the extremities, from the extremities, prana starts coming. क्यों समेट रहा हो? It is unwinding, rewinding back. That is why you see people who are dying, their feet go cold first. Why prana goes? Prana is being pulled slowly. Their extremities, hands, feet go cold. Slowly you'll see it. If you're sitting next to a person who's dying, you'll see this. I had experienced this with my father dying. I could see this very, very clearly. One by one, how the senses were closing, I could see. Panchendriyas. एक के बाद एक, एक के बाद एक, एक के बाद एक. Person was talking and suddenly the speech goes and can't talk. Then only eyes are moving. You can see, you can hear. Then even the hearing goes. Whatever you're telling also, you're not understanding, only seeing. Then the seeing also goes. There's nothing to be too bewildered about this process. Every night you die like this only. You just become aware and see. When you lie down in your cot, prana is pulled like this only. Your attention, the consciousness, your awareness from your body starts reducing and getting into your kendra bindu, your center of the being. It सिकुड़ता उधर. You see, you start losing consciousness. पहले दुनिया आपकी गई. Husband, wife, father, mother, brother, sister, mother, daughter, all those things. So that identity is आपका सिकुड़ता पहले. You see, while sleeping, do you have that? I am a father. Do you sleep like that? I'm a boss. Every sub bossgiri, everything will go down. And then you are simply lying there. You become aware of your body. Final moments, you will have only awareness of the body. Some, then the mind. And that is what Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, then the mind. Little thoughts, one or two thoughts will be there. And as the thoughts die, the mind disappears. You're going into Viveka, I amness will be there. And I exist only. ये मैं स्लो मोशन में बता रहा हूँ. ये इतना स्लो नहीं होता है. ये जस्ट 2-3 सेकंड्स में होता है. बट उसके अंदर it this is how it happens. Only I amness, I exist, मैं हूँ. भाव आता है and then that closes. You're going to sleep. Death it is. Every night we experience death. Same way we awaken next month. पहले slowly the I amness comes out. मैं हूँ. That is the rise of ego. That is the Shakti leaving Shiva. सिंपल टेक्निकलिटी है. ब्रह्मांड का निर्माण हो रहा है. The new creation is being created. At night, सत और चित आनंद में थे. अब because of the outward pull, the contents of desire, इच्छा शक्ति, क्रिया शक्ति will happen. Vibration, तरंगे शुरू, प्रपंच शुरू, and then the creation begins. So I amness comes, and within few microseconds, when the I amness comes, it enters into the Manomaya Kosha, and then the thoughts comes. The moment the thought comes, Prana Maya Kosha, energy movement, and then body will move out. Chadar, follow. आज मंडे है, आज मीटिंग को है, वो जाना है, ये जाना है. शुरू, सृष्टि शुरू. So ब्रह्म तत्व and then full day हरि तत्व. Maintain करो. Whatever you have created, this great illusory world, now you have to pump energy into all these things. इसको जिंदा रखने के लिए. सबसे बड़ा illusion ये, इसको जिंदा रखो. इसके साथ जुड़े हुए उसको जिंदा रखो. And all these things. Keep it alive as much as possible. उसके लिए you need नारायण तत्व. फिर तिरुपति जाओ और फिर कृपा ले लो मेंटेनेंस रखने के लिए. I need grace, I need money, abundance, so that I can ये सपने को I keep flaming it. ये रेत का महल है, लेकिन मैं कृपा दे दो. Give me grace. Oh God, keep my house good, keep my pets good, keep my family good, keep myself good. कृपा दे दो बस. एक दिन जाना है वो, तब देखेंगे. अभी तो दे दो, इसको रखो जिंदा. Let me play this game, let me enjoy this little more. And that is how संध्या होती है. Twilight zone. Before you know, the day is over. All you're running around, you're tired. Now you want to rest. प्रलय शुरू. रुद्र को जागृत. See, life is very simple. Spirituality and our daily life is not different. इसलिए मैं बोलता हूँ पिंडांड को जानो, ब्रह्मांड अपने आप समझ में आएगा. Know thyself, Jesus said. Even Ramana says, know thyself. Know thyself and you'll know God. Bible में एक teaching है, be still and know that you are God. Jesus said. Ramana used to always quote this from Jesus Christ. Be still and know that. See, when you are still only, you go into samadhi. Nischala tattva. When you are nischala, you enter into samadhi. You understand, I am only God. Aham Brahmasmi. That's all. Nischala tattva is what is the key. If you ask me in one sentence, the whole spirituality, क्या करना है? निश्चल तत्व. That Raja who went and asked the Guru, जल्दी बोलो, time नहीं है. Very quickly you tell me, what is the shortcut to enlightenment and covering of all my problems? I'm a very busy man, I'm the king. So please, hey Guru, tell me in one sentence. How do I get rid of all these problems and tensions and worries and all these things? How? And he says, silence. Get into silence. So the guru tells him, I will not tell in one sentence, I'll tell in one word only. And one word is silence. Raja says, very nice. One word mein mil gaya. But how do I get into silence? The guru says, meditation. Wonderful. But how do I get into meditation? Guru says, silence. Now you can keep arguing which came first, silence came first or meditation came first. कौन सा पहला है? The source of meditation and the source of silence is where we have to go. So if you ask me one simple line, Nischala Tattva, if you want to understand self-realization, it is Nischala Tattva. उसके बाद विशाल मन, निश्चल मन, विशाल मन. मन निश्चल हो गया. लेकिन मन कम वक्त निश्चल होता ही नहीं है, चंचल ही रहता. तो उसके लिए सजग हो जाओ, become aware. Mind is not quietening down, mind is not stilling down, is the complaint. We all know that the secret is to still the mind. Then become aware of why the mind is not stilling. You will know it is you only to blame. You have hundreds and thousands and unlimited kind of desires. So once you understand all these desires are my big problem, I create them and I leave them in one corner of my mind, thinking that it will either manifest or maybe it will dissolve. Nothing dissolves. Whatever you think, every thought is an energy, it is set out in motion, it will return back. You might say, no, it doesn't return. So many things I've desired in life, it has never happened. That has not happened because of the impact of your prarabdha karmas. There are other things in line for you. So that is not ripe at this moment to come to you, but it will come to you sooner or later. And if you pass out, it will come to you in the next janma, but it will come. That is the nature of karma. Anything you once leave, an arrow that is shot, it has to go and hit. You cannot retrace it back. You cannot simply say that, oh, it is an energy that I sent out. छोड़ो यार, भूल जाओ. भूलता नहीं, energy भूलता नहीं. It creates an impact. When somebody becomes conscious like this, they will be very conscious and aware of everything that they do. That is called an जागरूक जिंदगी, an aware life. जो सजग होते हैं, बड़े जागरूक रहते हैं. Why they are जागरूक? Because they know ये मेरा निश्चलता का दुश्मन है. This is the enemy of my stillness. Whatever I do, right now I am having so much difficulty getting into meditation. Why? Because all my past vibrations are vibrating around me, haunting me, waiting to give me the fruits, good, bad, ugly. So when I understand that, I become more careful, more alert. So that is why a life of awareness is very, very important. Very important. It is irrespective of what kind of circus you do. This sadhana, that sadhana, nothing is going to help you. If you keep on doing this sadhana, I'll give you one example. One day, a sadhu belonging to a certain order came to Sri Bhagwan Ramana. He went around the ashram, noticing that there was no particular ritual followed in the ashram. He asked Bhagwan out of curiosity, Swami, what is the tradition that you follow? तो एक साधु आया आश्रम में और भगवान रमणा के आश्रम में और सब आश्रम में यहाँ वहाँ छानबीन किया और पता चला कि वहाँ कुछ है ही नहीं, कुछ कोई उनका दिनचर्या नहीं, कोई प्रकार का ये नहीं है, प्रैक्टिसेस नहीं है. तो ही कम्स टू रमणा, रमणा के पास आके पूछते हैं कि स्वामी आप कौन से ट्रेडिशन को फॉलो करते हो? श्री भगवान डिड नॉट रिप्लाई बट कंटिन्यू टू रिमेन क्वाइट. भगवान ने कुछ नहीं बोला, रमणा ने वो चुप बैठे. When this visitor kept repeating the same question several times, a devotee was present there replied, Not following any tradition is our tradition. Tell us about your tradition. तो लगातार पूछने के बाद भी जब भगवान रमणा कुछ नहीं बोले, तो वहां पे एक उपासक थे, डिवोटी थे, भक्त थे, उन्होंने कहा कोई प्रथा को फॉलो नहीं करना ही हमारा प्रथा है। द ट्रेडिशन ऑफ नॉट फॉलोइंग एनी ट्रेडिशन ओनली इज आवर ट्रेडिशन। ये हमारा यहाँ पे प्रथा है। आपका क्या है? आप क्या करते हैं? द साधु सेड, वी वेक अप बिफोर सनराइज, ब्रह्म मुहूर्त, वी प्रैक्टिस जपा, सर्विस टू द गुरु एंड अदर रिचुअल्स टिल सनसेट। तो सुबह हम उठते हैं प्रातःकाल ब्रह्म मुहूर्त में, सूर्य सूर्योदय से पहले, और फिर नाम जप करते हैं, उसके बाद गुरु की सेवा करते हैं, और उसके बाद बाकी जो भी कर्म कांड है वो सब करते हैं सूर्यास्त तक, टिल सनसेट। इन द इवनिंग वी ऑफर द फ्रूट ऑफ ऑल आवर एक्शंस टू द गुरु। तो शाम को संध्या वेळ में पूरे दिन हमने जो भी कार्य किया था, कर्म किया था, उसका कर्म फल हम अपने गुरु को अर्पित करते। सो द रिनाउंसिएशन ऑफ द फ्रूट ऑफ आवर स्पिरिचुअल प्रैक्टिस इज आवर मेन कस्टम। तो हमारी मेन कस्टम, हमारी प्रथा ये है कि हम जो दिन में जो भी करते हैं, उसका कर्म का जो भी फल है, अंत में हम गुरु को दे देते हैं। द मोमेंट भगवान हर्ड दिस, ही लाफ्ड। जिस क्षण वो भगवान सुने रमणा, वो हंसे और कहा, ओहो, you perform sadhana and offer the fruit to your guru. So this is what you offer to your guru, right? Well done. तो भगवान रमणा ने तुरंत बोला, अच्छा, हंस के, ओहो, तो आप साधना परफॉर्म करते हो, आप साधना करते हो, और आपके जो कर्म फल है, साधना का जो फल है, वो आपके गुरु को अर्पित करते हो आप लोग। बहुत अच्छी बात। फिर उन्होंने कहा, दिस इज लाइक कीपिंग द प्रिंसिपल इंटैक्ट एंड ऑफरिंग द इंटरेस्ट। प्रिंसिपल क्या बोलते हैं उसको? सूद बोलते हैं ना। ये तो ऐसा हुआ कि वो प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट आपने ऐसे ही रखा और सिर्फ ब्याज दे रहे हो, मूलधन। मूलधन आप रखे हो आपके पास और सिर्फ ब्याज दे रहे हो गुरु को। ये तो ऐसा हुआ, और रमणा हंस पड़े। तो ये आप गुरु को अर्पित करते हो, बहुत बढ़िया है। लिसनिंग टू दिस, श्री मुरुगनार रिमार्क्ड, मुरुगनार उनके शिष्य थे, ये सुनते ही उन्होंने कहा, मुरुगनार की वजह से ही उपदेश सारम आया। तो मुरुगनार ने कहा, देयर गुरु एटलीस्ट हैज द प्रिंसिपल इंटैक्ट, हियर आर गुरु भगवान सॉलोज द कैपिटल इटसेल्फ, वेयर इज द क्वेश्चन ऑफ एनी इंटरेस्ट बीइंग लेफ्ट। तो चलो, वो लोग अपने वो उनके गुरु एटलीस्ट वो मूलधन तो छोड़ देते हैं, चलो इंटरेस्ट ले लिया, ब्याज लिया तो ले लिया, या हमारे गुरु तो वो मूलधन भी नहीं छोड़ते हमारे पास। मतलब क्या है? सी हाउ डीप दिस होल थिंग इज। Ramana's words are very deep because he will not talk otherwise. चर्चे नहीं है उनके पास, डिबेट्स नहीं है। जहां पॉइंट मारना है, एक पॉइंट मार के चुप हो जाएंगे। That's all. That's how he is. What the meaning here is, without eradicating this ego, this doership which is there, that is what he is telling. This doership, मैं बोल के हम पूरा दिनचर्या करते हैं, होल डे वी रन अबाउट, ये करना है वो करना है, और शाम को चालाकी से बैठते हैं और बोलते हैं, ओम श्री दुर्गा अर्पणमस्तु। कई बार पहले भी बोला था। Somebody was boasting about their practice. I asked, what do you do? I said, we are doing this patha. And patha for whom? For yourself, right? We were talking about स्वार्थ भक्ति, selfish भक्ति। निस्वार्थ भक्ति, स्वार्थ भक्ति दो होते हैं। भगवान नित्यानंद कहते हैं कि स्वार्थ भक्ति सब में होता है स्टार्ट में, बाद में वो निस्वार्थ होता है। इन द स्टार्ट एवरीबडी बिगिंस विथ सेल्फिश भक्ति ओनली, जब खुद के लिए, अपने लिए, मैं करके। भगवान के भी सब करो, ये सब ढिंडोरा पीटो, अपने लिए कुछ मांगो। ये तो वी आर टॉकिंग ऑन दैट, and that person boasted to me, no, I am doing it for God. I said, how can you do it for God? You're chanting so loudly in my ear now. He's going on all this. I think he was reading the Durga Shapsati. He said, "You don't know. I don't know only. If we do this practice and then we offer the fruit to Ma Durga. Om Shri Durga Arpanamastu." I felt like laughing and I told, is almost, I remembered that same with this. Exactly the same it is. When you do it, you are doing it with doership. You are doing it with greed. भय या लोभ से कर रहे हैं प्रैक्टिस. वो सारे इसके पीछे लालच है. एग्जाम्पल देता हूं. Let us say an Akashwani comes from top and says that, good, all of you all are doing this part, but we have one message. Ki nothing can be given for this, but mother is very happy with your service, unconditionally loving you. So she's unconditionally happy with whatever you're doing. But there are no gifts because karma, that phala is there. Sadhana phala is always there, Baba. वो साधना फल के लालच में ये सब करते हैं. So now the new rule, let's say, आकाशवाणी होती है, there is no sadhana phala for 1 year, next 1 year. After 1 year will begin. 1 year, all this pata will stop. I guarantee you. क्योंकि करके फायदा नहीं है. What are you saying? फिर क्यों करें? छोड़ दो यार. This is called Swarth Bhakti. So when you do these things with a sense of ego and doership, you are not aware. This is called unconscious practices. You're not even conscious what you're doing. See here, this whole system is boosting here. He's coming and telling, oh, we हम लोग ब्रह्म मुहूर्त में उठ के ऐसे ऐसे करते हैं. Full day we do, and in the end we offer it. Om Shri Guru Arpanamastu. We offer it to the Guru. But whole day, whatever you have done for some benefit with a sense of doership. And now, in the name of that offering, you are telling, oh, I have done so much. It's all in His name. But actually, you have kept the principal interest. Principal. Interest you have given. थोड़ा आप ले लो. माँ को भी थोड़ा दे दिया. आप ले लो उसका. Then I continued that discussion with that person. And he was trying to just defend it because he was embarrassed. He didn't want to. So he was somehow trying to uh, prove it. That's how everybody tries to do, right? कौन मानेगा ये सब चीजों को? अब कितना भी बोलो वो कुछ तो justify करें. There is no point actually. You go on only is best. Go to the source. ये सब discussion फालतू के कोई ये नहीं. But just to put something into him. एक trigger के लिए I just did that and then I was thing like. So I said, no, you don't know. It is all done very unconditionally. And then he said, we are told that you have to offer everything to the mother, divine mother. And so we are wholeheartedly offering it. आपको मेरा नियत पता नहीं है. आप क्या जानो मेरा भाव. एक बहुत अच्छा डायलॉग है स्पिरिचुअलिटी में. कुछ भी बोलो, भाव रे, सब कुछ भाव रे. उसके अंदर उस भाव के आड़ में छुपा के सारे तीर मारो. एंड देन ऊपर एक टीचिंग डाल के छोड़ो. सब कुछ भाव रे. दिख रहा है क्या भाव है. एंड देन ही सेड, you don't know my bhav. My bhav is that I'm offering everything. After that whole part, I surrendered back. And then in the same line, he says, look at the ignorance. आपको क्या पता है? You have half knowledge about all these things. You are saying the mother don't give this, that, and all. Mother chappar pad ke deti. You don't know. Because I am told that if you offer anything to the mother, thousandfold will come back to you. So the reason you are giving it is business. If I give one wholeheartedly, into thousand is going to come back to me. Somewhere this ignorance has to open and awaken us of what we are doing, why we are doing. That is the problem when you are unaware. You do anything in unawareness, you will not get anywhere. You will fall in more troubles. Look at the rishis. In unawareness, they are doing havanas, karma kandas, janma after janma. And Shiva has to come down and tell them, you are stuck. You are thinking it is nishkam. It is sakama. Inside, you are doing it for punyas in the name of saving humanity. And now see, I have to come because you're not able to understand. You are stuck in it. Punarpi janmam, punarpi maranam. That is what we are trying to explain here. If one goes to the source, there is no cause for the seed to come out, sprout out. So if somebody is self absorbed in the self, and then one goes about doing with this with the clear realization of non-doership, that karma cannot bind you. And that is the recommendation that's been given here. He give up the ego of the doership. Some doer is there. Even when you say, I am offering service to my guru, the disciple is present there. That's enough to do the whole mischief. As a disciple, also, if you do something, you're stuck. Remove that thing about discipleship also and spontaneously do it without a reason. It's your prarabdha. प्रारब्ध में आपका आ रहा है, आपकी इच्छा हो रही है, आपका प्रारब्ध ही आपको करवा रहा है. हाँ, करवा रहा है तो प्रारब्ध डिवाइन विल है. वो कोई करवा रहा है मुझसे, मैं करूं. अब अर्पणामस्तु करो without doership. That is what he meant. Your guru at least is leaving the principle and taking only the interest. Our guru does not around the principle only. This is the principle. मूलधन वो है ही नहीं, वो तक रखते नहीं है. मतलब ego is only removed out, scrubbed out. How deep it is. So he says, if the ego or the sense of doership is itself erased, who is there then to perform the action? So think about it. The performer has to go. And that is when one becomes non-doer. That state is when karma stops. That I have to do this and that. All the doing stops. The being starts where? Being का एक यात्रा है. लेवल 2 के बाद इट्स ऑल बीइंग. करना बंद होना चाहिए सब. करना यानी कि एक इच्छा है. Effort is coming because I am there. I, the devotee, I, the disciple, I, the yogi, I, the meditator, I, the seeker. The seeker wants to go around and do so many things. Whereas if that seeker just understand, because this is direct path, if the seeker simply understand, I shift into that awareness and remain, you will become nischala. All your actions will just stop. So when actions stop, you get the goal straight there. See what that's what he says. When the sense of doership is erased, who's there to perform the action? Along with it, the destiny, the free will, agami, sanchita, prarabdha, good and bad action, all will subside. There is no question of karma talks there. Now you'll understand why Ramana says, leave your karma aside, leave your vasanas aside, leave your mind aside, leave everything aside, and you abide in the self. That's it. When you are in the self, it doesn't affect you. When you go in the objective nature, it will catch you. You take some ego identity, it will catch you. That is why all the victims, all the criers are in the objective side. They have taken identity and then they are crying. See, further see. Everything will subside. Free will, agami, sanchita, prarabdha, good, bad actions, everything will subside, and only pure, absolute awareness alone remains. Everything will go, only that remains. The ego or of doership is like a balloon which is inflated by the fuel of purva karma samskaras and the consequent experiences. So this is coming from our purva janma samskaras, the fuel of that ego. What keeps the ego going is it's coming from purva janma samskara. If the ego vanishes as the result of self knowledge, if you get this knowledge very clear practically, and with the grace of this knowledge, if your ego vanishes, the sense of doership also will vanish. Who is there then left to make any effort? Who's there to experience destiny, which results from past action? The problem dissolves instantaneously, instantly, like the bursting of a balloon. So at that moment, you see, whenever you are in deep sense of non-doership, when you're completely abiding and the work is going around, but there is no doership that I am doing this, for that. There is no reason. It simply spontaneously is happening. At that time, destiny does not affect you in that state of mind. Okay. One more small story is there, and we'll end with that. That is also. One day, a devotee wept at the feet of Bhagwan for a long time, talking about all his misfortunes caused by destiny. तो एक बार भगवान रमणा के चरणों में आके कोई तो बहुत देर से रो रहे थे, ये कहते हुए कि उनके नसीब की वजह से क्या क्या हुआ दुख. With a silent gaze, Maharishi silently and attentively listened to his litany of woes. तो शांत होके वो उनको गुर रहे थे, वो देख रहे थे, सुन रहे थे भगवान रमणा. After everything was said, a few minutes passed by in silence. सब बोलने के बाद कुछ देर शांति थी. Then turning his gaze towards the devotee, भगवान said, फिर उस भक्त की ओर देखते हुए भगवान ने कहा, You are weeping saying this happened to me, my sorrow and so on. आप ये कह रहे हो कि रोते हुए कि ये मेरे साथ हुआ, मेरा दुख, फलाना ढिमकाना. In this manner, your lament was full of the words to me, my, I. वो पॉइंट आउट कर रहे हैं वहाँ पे. तो इस प्रकार से आप जितना भी रो रहे थे इतना देर यहाँ, आप यही कह रहे थे मेरे दुख मेरे साथ हुआ, मी, माइन, यही कह रहे थे, आई. तो भगवान क्या पॉइंट कर रहे हैं? ये ऑब्जेक्टिव है. जो बिलख रहा है वो ऑब्जेक्टिव नेचर. ईगो इज क्राइम. हु इज दिस आई? ये कौन है जो मैं कह रहा हूं मुझे हुआ, मैं दुखी हूं? ये मैं कौन? व्हाट इज दिस आई? फ्रॉम वेयर डिड इट अराइज? ये कहां से आया? भगवान रमणा का वो एक ही तत्व है, एक ही टीचिंग है. पता लगाओ कि वो कहां से आया. उसको सेल्फ इंक्वायरी बोलते हैं. जो वशिष्ठ महामुनि ने भगवान राम को बताया कि सिर्फ सेल्फ इंक्वायरी से ही संसार रोग मिट सकता है. The disease of samsara can be cured only and only by self inquiry. यानी जिसको लास्ट को मिटाना है सब, आत्म साक्षात्कार या मोक्ष मुक्ति की बात कर रहे हैं, ये कंप्लीट त्याग होनी चाहिए होते. तो वो पूछना चाहिए कि ये मैं कौन हूं और ये मैं आया कहां से? ये रोने वाला, ये दुखी, ये आया कहां से? उसका सोर्स कहां है? मूल कहां है? डिड these sorrows exist in your deep sleep where the I did not rise? जो मैं बार बार पूछता हूँ, क्या ये निद्रा में या सुषुप्ति में ये दुख आया था आपको? Then where did this misery come from? फिर कहां से आए? You might say from my mind it came. आप कह सकते हो कि आपके मन से आया. As the mind did not exist in deep sleep and you remained as pure bliss without the mind in deep sleep, it can be concluded that the sorrows of the mind did not affect your real self. तो आप तो कह सकते हो कि मेरे मन से आया, लेकिन सोते वक्त तो मन था ही नहीं आपका. मन से आया तो वो कहाँ है? दुख कहाँ है? मन में. तो मन कहाँ है? मन है ही नहीं. मन नहीं है तो दुख भी नहीं. So he's pointing to the temporary nature of this game of the ego, which comes and projects something and then returns back. ऐसा नहीं है कि मन हमेशा दुःख को, नहीं, वो सुख भी अनुभव करता है, लेकिन व्यक्ति, वो ईगो कैचेस ओनली दैट दुःख, उसी पे रोना होता है। रात को जो सोया उसको पता नहीं है, और दिन में भी बहुत कुछ अच्छा हुआ, डे आल्सो समथिंग गुड हैपेंस, बट द फोकस इज नॉट दैट। Even in the waking state, if you inquire, who am I, the ego, I will dissolve. अगर वेकिंग स्टेट, जागृत में भी अगर आप हु एम आई करेंगे, सेल्फ इंक्वायरी करेंगे, एक खोज करेंगे कि मूल कहाँ है मेरा, ये आया कहाँ से, ये मेरा मन कहाँ से आया, तो ये इमीडिएटली गल जाएगा। नो सॉरो कैन रिमेन देयर, डेस्टिनी कैन नेवर अफेक्ट द सेल्फ। जो हम बोलते हैं ना, हमारा नसीब, ये नसीब आत्मन को कभी छू नहीं सकता। यास्मिन स्थितो न दुखेन गुरुनापि विचालयते, that which remains unaffected even by the gravest of sorrows is the real self। वो जो तीव्र से तीव्र दुखों से भी परे है, जो अफेक्ट नहीं कर होता, वो आत्मन है। when a person is established in that, he is in yoga। अब योगा का मीनिंग देखो, जो व्यक्ति इस स्थिति में मर्ज हो चुके हैं, मतलब आई मिट गया और वापस अपने अस्तित्व में आ गया, उस स्थिति को योग कहते हैं। मतलब ईगो जब डिसॉल्व हो गया और एक ही रह गया, वो योग की स्थिति है। दिस इज व्हाट आई एक्सप्लेन टू द guys who are making this documentary from Holland that come. They had taken all videos all over. Many people they went, they shot many things on yoga. तो बहुत उनका 95% उनका जो films all is about asanas and this and that. And then when they called me, and मैं फोन पे ही था, जूम पे वी आर टॉकिंग, when we are talking immediately, and I told कि that is not the objective of yoga, the real meaning of yoga is this, and they were like stunned, ये क्या, हमने ऐसे कुछ सुना ही नहीं है, ये क्या है। I said the four stages of yoga, even explained in Bhagavad Gita, talks about this ज्ञान मार्ग, the ज्ञान yoga which is there, the last, when you get the wisdom, ये ज्ञान उदय होता है, ये सब चीजें क्लैरिटी आ जाती है, तब पता चलता है कि वो जिसको क्लैरिटी आ रही है वो भी मिटना चाहिए। The one who is getting this clarity also, that ego, that also has to go. Then only that person can, that being can return to the original state. Listening to this, another devotee asked, Swami, how can Jnana Upadesha provide the solution for personal and domestic sorrows? तो दूसरा कोई व्यक्ति सुन रहे थे वहां पे, उन्होंने बोला, स्वामी ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है कि ज्ञान उपदेश से मेरे दुखों का निवारण हो सकता है, ये कैसे सोल्यूशन हो सकता है? हाउ कैन ज्ञान उपदेश, स्पिरिचुअल इंस्ट्रक्शन? Maharishi said, what to do? All the problems are due to prarabdha. As long as there is ego to experience it, there is no ultimate solution for it. तो इसमें कुछ कर नहीं सकते, क्योंकि प्रारब्ध की वजह से, आपका ही प्रारब्ध की वजह से, प्रारब्ध आपने ही क्रिएट किया, उसके वजह से ही ये सब प्रॉब्लम्स आते हैं, ये सो कॉल्ड प्रॉब्लम्स, वही क्रिएशन है। एज लॉन्ग एज, जब तक ईगो है, अहम है, एज लॉन्ग एज ईगो इज देयर टू एक्सपीरियंस दिस, जब तक अहम है इसको अनुभव करने के लिए, तब तक इसका कोई उपाय नहीं। सेड नो, भवरोग का एक ही उपाय है, किल द ईगो, kill the one who is having the disease. The disease of samsara can be killed by only self inquiry, Vashishta tells Rama, same वही बोल रहे हैं। Knowledge alone is the solution। इस चीज की जो ज्ञान है, ये ही सोल्यूशन है, इसका और कोई सोल्यूशन नहीं। ये ज्ञान को हटा दो आप, ये जो अभी हम कह रहे हैं ना, डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, इसको हटा दो, मुक्ति है ही नहीं। क्योंकि ऐसे ऐसे चीज करते रहेंगे, उन सब चीजों में वो आए रहेगा, डूअर रहेगा, डूअर लेके ही करता रहेगा। मुश्किल है, बहुत मुश्किल है। जब मैं हिमालय में था, तब एक महात्मा ने मुझे कहा था, क्योंकि मैं गुफाओं में देख रहा था कोई साधना कर रहे हैं, कोई जप कर रहे हैं, कोई तप कर रहा है, कोई ये कर रहा है, कोई वो कर रहा है, मेनी प्लेसेस, हिडन रिमोट places we had gone, and they are not interested in this world also. That kind of yogis they are. So I was like very impressed, and so that Mahatma was with me, and he looked at me and he said, "Don't get too impressed. They are all work in progress." बोले कि ज्यादा आप इम्प्रेस मत हो हिमालय में, ये गुफाओं में ये सब देख के, कोई तपस कर रहा है, कोई ये विद्रोह है, ऑल वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस है, वर्क भी चालू है। मुझे समझ नहीं आया what is he trying to say. He was simply meaning the ego is still there. He said हिमालय में साधु को भी लंगोट का अहंकार होता है। He said in the Himalayas, even the sadhu has the ego of his loincloth. The ego of I am a renunciate. मैंने सब कुछ त्याग के देखो यहाँ बर्फ में बैठा हूँ। वो भाव अभी भी है। That is why he said, work is still in progress. See how deep it is. Don't get impressed, he said. Wow, I said. This is a deep understanding. So he says then finally, knowledge alone is the solution. Knowing the self, leave the body mind adjunct to the prarabdha. अपने आत्म को पहचानो, उसमें स्थित रहो, और प्रारब्ध को अपने प्रारब्ध के साथ छोड़ दो। मन को अपने प्रारब्ध के साथ छोड़ दो, या प्रारब्ध को अपने मन के साथ छोड़ दो। However grave and serious the individual and the family may seem to you, in the eyes of a ज्ञानी, they are all illusions only. तो आपके लिए कितना भी इंपॉर्टेंट आपके फैमिली हो, आपकी इंडिविजुअलिटी हो, ब्ला 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 हो, एक ज्ञानी के लिए वो सब इल्यूजन ही है। उसके लिए वो सब कुछ नहीं है। A person, see, ये बहुत अच्छा कह रहे हैं। Hence, the aim of the ज्ञानी is to awaken you from this delusion. उसको वो सपना दिख रहा है। आप जिसमें खोए हो, all your world you say this is serious and I am this, but for a jnani, means a person who is self-realized, for them it is all a petty illusion, and their only aim is to wake you up from the delusion. Utho, jago. A person who is dreaming that he is being robbed shouts thief thief. एक कोई सपने में कोई चोर उसको लूट रहा है और वो चिल्ला रहा है जोर जोर से, चोर चोर। What will his friend lying awake nearby do? बगल में जो उसका दोस्त मित्र जागा हुआ बैठा है, वो क्या करेगा? Will he run to catch the thief? वो चोर को पकड़ने भागेगा क्या? चोर है ही नहीं, वो चीख रहा है उधर बगल में पड़ के, चोर चोर। उसकी कल्पना। तो बगल में जो जागा हुआ है, क्या वो चोर को पकड़ने दौड़ेगा? अपने फ्रेंड को मदद करना है? नहीं, फ्रेंड को लात मार के उठाएगा, उठ बे। Will he run behind the thief? The guy who is the friend who is awake? No, he will kick that guy and say, "Wake up, you nut! There is no thief here." See these illustrations, how deep it is. So in front of a jnani, whenever you go, they will not see your dramas. They cannot see your dramas because for them there is no drama there. They are beyond it now. So they will not sit crying with you. They will not give you more maintenance solutions. It is crap. What are you going to catch? The thief? वो तो सपने में है, वो उसके सपने में है, ये तो जगा हुआ है। So for this person there is no thief. Then there is no question of discussion about the thief only. He will only kick and say, "Get up, wake up." That's all. Such is the case with the sorrows of the ignorant. The only solution is to wake them up. All the sorrows और नौटंकी जो मन का चलता है, ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है, कोई और solution नहीं उसके अंदर। You go more into that, you will put fire into that. वो जो endless है वो। You know, my friends are there here also, my close friends. They when they don't sit for satsangs, I give them the links. बैठना बैठो, देखते हैं time ये some they'll keep running. Here also, there are so many people. There are hundreds of people, but only a couple of them sit here. Those who can face the truth will sit here. Those who are interested in the maintenance zone are running around. When something pinches them, they will come and sit for one session and go. What is that? थोड़ी राहत मिले, थोड़ी छाव मिले. They will sit under the tree of the satsang. They'll enjoy and they'll say, "Thank you, भैया. बहुत अच्छा लगा आज. मुझे मालूम है भैया बोल के आप कहाँ जाने वाले नेक्स्ट." वापस लौट के उसी के अंदर फिर गायब, फिर दिखेंगे नहीं. फिर दूसरा आउच के बाद वेलकम. This nature of human, this has to be awakened and seen very properly. Otherwise, there is no end to it. So there is no end to these solutions, and that is why I don't offer any solutions here. क्या करना है? मेरे घर में झगड़ा हो रहा है. So this guys tell me, Jack, come home. I say, what for? Come for a cup of tea. I know it is not for a cup of tea. बहुत महंगा cup of tea है वो. They are going to gobble up my energies and my head for 2 hours. I say, no thanks. The tea is brewing here in my kitchen already. I'll have here. Then some other thing. Then some other thing. Then फिर भी नहीं आया तो then they will come in. Are you free? Yes, what happened? कुछ नहीं, just tell you. And then they will come to the same old story. Dad, I have this problem in life. अरे तेरा problem खत्म ही नहीं होगा उसमें. What can I do about it? Can you talk to this person? Can you talk to that person? Can you talk to this person in my house? Means we are all doing bandobast. You arrange, you make my environment so comfortable. You are my friend, right? You do all this pravachan dhanda, tumhara. Now you do that dhanda here also. Little. You are my friend, right? You sit and explain to people how I am being troubled. You do something here and you will justify. They will justify the problem. How much troubled I am. I am weeping. I am in trouble. Do something to change the environment. And I am looking at the cause of that environment. तू तू जब मिटेगा तेरा प्रॉब्लम मिटेगा. When you go, the problems will go. Till you, the ego is there, problems will be there. Nobody can put this fire out. भगवान भी नहीं बुझा सकते. मैं कौन सा खेत की मूली. तुझे प्रॉब्लम के बारे में बात करना है, विल टॉक. तेरे इल्यूजन्स को लेके इधर मत आ. ड्रीम्स. I cannot run behind a thief. So all that I can tell you is you wake up. I'll wake up. Tell me. Please attend the sessions. अरे वो कहानी हो गई. एक सेंटेंस में बताना यार. Tell in one sentence now. You will not get it, my dear, in one sentence. Your structure has to become so deep and intense. Now, people who are sitting here for 2 hours, is it a joke? Not everybody can sit for 2 hours almost every single day. People ask me, what do you talk so much? And what is it that the people don't understand in your one talk? You will not understand. Even if I talk to you a lifetime, you will not understand. You're not understanding even now what I'm trying to tell you. And these are things that cannot be talked in one line or one shot. This is something that has got connection with grace. Only with grace we listen to Shuddha Vidya, the knowledge of the self. Not everybody can sit for it. Those who are too much engrossed in their world, Moha Maya, what is called, the power of that Maya will never allow you to sit nischala and gain wisdom and gain freedom. पुण्य कर्म ही बिठाता है. पुण्य कर्म ही ये ज्ञान खोलता है. Is why I say you don't understand it. You will never understand it. And that's okay. I say, sorry, I cannot give tuitions. I give only class. Come to the classrooms. And this is the classroom. So somebody said, I'm coming to your town. My old friend. हम आ रहे उधर आपके सिटी में. कहाँ मिली? मैंने बोला मैं जूम पर ही मिलता हूँ और कहीं नहीं मिलता क्योंकि जूम पे काम है मेरा. बाकी सब चर्चे हैं, बकवास है. आपकी दुनिया ले आओगे, आपके भ्रमित ये सब ले आओगे, आपके प्रॉब्लम्स, नेवर एंडिंग प्रॉब्लम्स ले आओगे, मुझे उससे कुछ लेना-देना नहीं है. It's nothing is going to happen. So that's the message that I give here also. It's here, one last paragraph is there. Depending on each one's prarabdha, the Lord makes each one perform certain actions. Whatever is not ordained will not happen. Try as much as you can. Whatever is supposed to happen will not stop. Whatever you do, you to prevent it. Hence, the best course is to remain silent. This is one of the greatest teachings of Ramana, which he gave his mother only. First, it is nothing about becoming inactive. It is simply when he says whatever is destined to happen will happen. Whatever you do, ऊपर नीचे करो, कूदो, कूदो फादो, कुछ भी करो, लेकिन वो हटेगा नहीं. It's not going to move away. You see all these remedies. Can you stop all these things? You can't. Whatever is destined is already happening. The way it is happening, it's supposed to happen, it is happening. And whatever is not supposed to happen, you do anything, it's not going to happen. You cannot induce it. So he says, therefore, the best course is to remain silent. So people think, sab chhod do, you maun mein chale jao. No, silence means nischala tattva. You abide in the self. You move, shift into that awareness. Shift from ignorance into awareness. And from that zone, look at the world, continue your life. Doership will not be there, and you will not get affected by that, the outcomes of that. So instead of trying to talk to my family, talk to this, talk to my environment, try to change my environment, I am telling, why don't you sit there? You be brimming in awareness, you be unaffected by it. If you go so sensitive, everywhere you're trying to make your atmosphere comfortable for you, you're going to suffer miserably. Because here you might get your friend, tomorrow something else, somewhere else, where you're going to catch everybody. So the best thing is to change you. Everything in this world, in my life, in the world around, is happening according to certain destiny. Prarabdha, everything has a reason. Even somebody is disturbing you, somebody is irritating you in your own house, it has a reason, not without reason. So instead of trying to mend that prarabdha, which is impossible, it is going to take your effect. That is why he is not succeeding. Since years I'm seeing, it's not succeed. You can't. Prarabdha काम कर रहा उस पे. So instead of getting affected by prarabdha, why don't you move into awareness and remain there and be unperturbed? That makes more sense. Yeah. So somebody had, please explain our responsibility towards our children and our soul journey. What responsibility you have towards your children? You can be only responsible when you become something. Please understand this. You take responsibility only when you take an identity. You have become a mother or you have become a father. That is why you are trying to take responsibility for your children, because you call them your children. Are they your children is the question. Understand this. They are not your children. They don't belong to you. कोई किसी का personal property नहीं है यहाँ पे. A soul has just entered into your life and through your, because of your लेन देन प्रारब्ध कर्म है वो खत्म हो रहा है, बस उतना ही है. There is no other connection. It is a stranger only. Stranger is born through you. You cover it up and say, this is my child. That is your problem. You have taken the identity. They don't belong to you. I tell this many times. If you would have refused them in when you are pregnant or something, I don't want this child, they would have gone to some other cook, some other parents, they will go. Life will not stop for them. You are available. That child's destiny is available according to your settings. Match ho raha hai, and that soul feels in this environment I can grow, I can learn my lessons, I can evolve, I can come and finish my desires. It has just landed through you. That's all. It doesn't belong to you. Children don't happen to you. Children happen through you. So there is no responsibility. The only responsibility that you got to do is you illumine, because there only there is a chance for others to follow suit. When you illumine yourself, there is a chance that they can. You don't illumine yourself, you keep trying to do something for them, you cannot do anything for them. You will be suffering. Because every time the so called mother and father talks to me, I want to do something, I want to take responsibility, I want to do something, you will fail, I'll tell them miserably. Because every time you will do only what you like them to do. Check it out. Because the question only will not come of responsibility. If you feel they have their right to live the way they want, they have come with their prarabdha, nobody can change that. I allow them to live. I support and guide them whatever I can. Other than that, I have nothing in my hands. Prarabdha will run according to what it is destined only. Just because I have become illumined or I have jnana doesn't mean I can change somebody's life. You see, when I have jnana, I cannot change my prarabdha only. That is running. So how can I change anybody else's prarabdha? And if I cannot change anybody's prarabdha, where is the question of responsibility? Where is the question of responsibility? Think about it. So I told no, it is this path is not like the other paths. There's maintenance, upaya batate jao. There is no end to that maintenance. Here we end all the maintenance. We don't end relationships, okay? We end your obsessiveness with it, your ignorance with it. That's all. When the ignorance ends, you are there in the family, you continue and all that, but you simply don't uh, go beyond what you can. So I have a question. There are so many bodies and so many without bodies also, while we are awareness as we can experience also. Is it one pure awareness projecting on multiple? Absolutely. That will come as you deepen and go deeper and deeper, you will come to know that. The whole of one awareness. One example I'll give before we end. We do this practice right in webinars. Become aware of the head, brain, eyes, nose, throat, all these things. And then see, I'm becoming first aware of one point, then another point, then third point, then fourth point. Tukde tukde हुए ना awareness. Then what do we do? One awareness of the face and head. Merge हो गया सब. Then chest. उसमें भी टुकड़े टुकड़े. Then you go to the body. टुकड़े टुकड़े. Then you do the pelvis. Then the legs, extremities, hands and legs. टुकड़े टुकड़े. And then what do you do in the end? One awareness. That is exactly the whole Srishti. All these souls are individual awareness. They all become one points. But in the whole, in the end, everything becomes one. So it is one full awareness. That is what we say Vishalman. When you purify Nirmalman, you become Nischala. When you become Nischala still, your mind expands. It is not one mind now. It has become a cosmic mind, universal mind. That is called Vishalman. One mind, cosmic mind. So that one cosmic mind is called the ultimatum, the realization that I am Shiva. And Shiva is omnipresent. Right now, Shiva is aware in all of us. So that wholesome experience, we might be in ignorance, we might be playing in ignorance, but that one which is aware of us is having a one hand experience, like you are experiencing your all your organs at one time. Shiva experiences all these, all creation is one experience of it at one time, same time. How do we know that? How do we know how we have reached each kosha until to the middle point? Is it by visualization or imagination? These are all not required. You can just surpass koshas, chakras, and all these things when you are just shifting into that awareness and you shift into that self that you are. Everything goes for a toss. Because it might be too hard for us to shift. Many it is impossible. Then we use this. Okay, slowly you get into koshas and things like that. You can keep doing that. So there is no time limit, there is no target. It all depends on your pace, your understanding, your obstacles. There are so many things in your creations, how much of obstacles will come in, and how much intensity you have for it. So there is no time zone. So we cannot know how and when. But how do we know we have reached each kosha until there is nothing called each kosha. There is no things like that. And you should not focus on all those things. Here, I don't focus on chakras and koshas and things like that. You also don't focus. You just focus on the ultimatum, what we are talking about. The whole ultimatum, the whole presence. Come into the presence. What is the question of koshas? Many of us can simply get into the presence. You don't need your koshas to get into koshas. Koshas are all Anvopaya methods. The first level, chakra sadhana. Devi Kalotra, what do we learn? Shiva is telling, give up all your sadhanas, including chakra sadhana, including all the deities sitting in the chakras. Why is that so? Because it's not needed now. Just attention on the self. I always sleep during practice. Okay, the previous question you said, is it by visualization or imagination? Yeah, visualization, imagination, all that is used in Anvopaya methods to get in there and all those things. But I don't recommend it here. Then for that, we will have to go into some other paths. Here, it is simply all through awareness, rising above all these tattvas. I am always asleep during practicing Yog Nidra. Is there any technique to avoid it? Yog Nidra practice only is to keep you awake in Nidra. That's all. So you have to practice using Yog Nidra only. Yog Nidra itself is the tool, weapon. You might fall asleep in the start and all that, but slowly you will start catching it up. You have to simply pay attention to the words that you hear that in the Yog Nidra. What is the technique to avoid? There's no technique. Just take care of your habits. Tamas does the problem. Tamas, lot of tamas in the body will put you into sleep. So you take care of your tamasic activities, tamasic vichar, tamasic bhojan, tamasic activities. You have to just pay attention to all those things. Is it full of tamas? Then you rectify those things, you will see you have more of energy during these practices. 5 koshas or 50 koshas, doesn't matter. Koshas are koshas only. Here we are not talking about all those things. In today's session, we are not absolutely talking about it. I didn't mention anything about. Here we are not even talking about the mind. I'm simply talking about one shift into that awareness. So it's a deep talk what we did today. You can ask, but quickly ask because the time is very less now.
Yeah,
Mm.
actually, one thing happened to me yesterday when the webinar was going on. At the last time, it was supposed to end on 4:30, so it has extended 4 to 4:30, and you were doing that practice. All we are doing that practice of that healing practice, and suddenly I do Tantra, and it happened to me like I just I was just listening your commands and go deep and like that it was happening continuously. It has gone for so long time, and when I came to the sense, I I just opened my eyes. I saw the webinar has over, and I saw that the time is like 5:40 or more than 5:40. So I was like, what has happened to me? Is it sleep? Is it tandra or is it samadhi? What was it? Because I was continuously hearing your voice.
In sleep, you cannot hear voice, first of all. You have to be in yoga nidra only. It has to be in tandra avastha only that you are able to hear. And you, in that state, you keep coming and going. Sometimes you are conscious, sometimes you are unconscious. It's a meditative state. It's not sleep. Sleep means you just collapse and you are not aware of anything like that. You simply get into that. But if your body has been erect, if it has been stable, if the spine was erect, uh, then it's not sleep.
Yeah, I was stiff. I was totally stiff and
That's good.
erected.
That's good. There are many such experiences that happen. Somebody once from Canada had told this. He or she was doing this webinar, and what happened was the mobile got discharged, battery khatam ho gayi, and the moment battery got over, I was in giving. By the way, I don't give commands like you said. I'm giving some certain guidance. Okay,
Yeah,
I cannot
yeah.
command you. When they were listening to the instructions, the guidance coming in, there was silence in between. In that between, the mobile got discharged, and that person thought I am silent there, but I was continuing. So that person simply kept being in that silence and entered into samadhi. After 3 hours, he woke up. 3 hours he woke up, and then he saw, where is the webinar? First thing that came was, oh my God, webinar is ended. Everybody is gone. And then he looks at the time. Oh my God, 3 hours have
This
gone.
has happened to me last time.
Yes, it will happen. All those things are very normal. Very normal. You can see many people sometimes when they do webinars, Sunday webinars. They are doing one person had told from Chennai also that she was doing the webinar and kab khatam hua pata hi nahi chala. And then when they woke, it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock. Usually we end by 5 o'clock, 5:30. So रात को 8 बजे, then full dark. I said, I opened my eyes. Inside also dark, outside also dark. Then suddenly there is a confusion. What has happened? It takes some time to understand. Then you understand. Oh, okay, this is what happened. That's good experience. When I practice awareness, I bother about my pranic movements and spinal cord. I need clarity on to avoid. Don't bother. Simple. When you are aware that you are bothering, stop bothering. I always tell people when you are doing these practices, suddenly you will see some thought coming in your mind. Become aware at that time. Oh, I am in my thought. Pakdo apne aap. Botheration means I am thinking. When you are practicing awareness, you cannot think. The moment you are thinking, you must become aware. I am thinking, and then shift into that awareness. You wherever you're putting your awareness in the spinal cord, start experiencing it. Your thought will go away immediately. You have to do it repeatedly. So we'll end today's session. I'll put this on YouTube. It's a good session. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we all be blessed. May we all evolve. May we all be free. Stay blessed. Bye.